Alright guys, welcome back for some more Detention on the PC. We're now up to chapter 3, and in the previous chapter we left off in this corridor area. We came from this side and walked over here. Okay, and I have to say this is my favorite chapter in the entire game. It's definitely got the most in terms of story, unraveling the story, and then chapter 4 is just getting to the end of the story, okay? But in terms of everything regarding the story, this is it, and I love it so much, okay? The music in this chapter is phenomenal. It's got the best music, the best atmosphere, and the level design and puzzles and everything is just immaculate, okay? I can't praise this chapter enough. I love it so much, okay? So, let's just get stuck right into it. So the first thing we're going to do, this door is closed, okay? We can't get this door open. An old door. The door is locked. So, we can't go in there now, nothing else we can do, so go ahead and interact with this. A radio. Seems like the static in the room is coming from this, so if you can hear the static in the background. Maybe I can get something if I tune it a bit. Alright. So this is basically how we're going to be moving to and from different levels within this level, if that makes sense. So, grab this knob and turn it this way until the thing goes red. The atmosphere in the room's changed, and you'll hear music start playing. And this song is awesome. So as you can see, we're in a different room now. This music is... Listen. Such brilliant music. Unfortunately though, these songs here aren't actually on the soundtrack that comes with the game. I forgot to mention this in the first video. I purchased the deluxe edition, and what came with it was the soundtrack. So I've got all 34 soundtracks that are in the game. Unfortunately, these aren't a part of it. So only the songs that were made by, was it Fang Chung that made it? That's all that's included into the OST. Otherwise, you know, it's still brilliant hearing this in the game, and I'll talk more about the soundtrack at the end of the game. But you know, I've been talking so much about the soundtrack and the music in this game thus far, and you know, you guys know how I feel about the soundtrack in this game. It's awesome, you know. So I won't harp too much on about it. Anyway, so examine this quickly before we leave. A ceramic piggy bank. Big round eyes waiting to be fed. So we can't do anything with this thing just yet. We will come back to this though. Closer toward the end of the chapter, we'll come to this. So is there anything else we can examine? Nope. Alright. So let's head out here. Someone's home. By the way, at this moment in the game, I'm sick of giving them voices. You know, I'm just gonna read whatever's being said. As you can see, this is Ray's father and mother. She's crying and he's wearing a wife beater. I actually call this a vest, so I know the Americans call this a wife beater for some reason, but I mean, he does look like one, so... Anyway. I feel like Mom has always been a traditional housewife. She doesn't complain even when wronged. I really don't like that. Yeah, me neither. It's not good. There's no way to go into the past anymore. Well, I'd say you're pretty far into the past right now. Back then, besides the New Year's, Dad never drank at home. I miss the days when he had jokes and stories to tell. Yep. Let's go through this door. Okay, now this part here is very important. Okay. Some nice artwork here. Okay, so if you have a look at this, when the light flickers, you'll see eyes over here by Ray. You see? And you would have noticed as well that there are like hands on here. They look like clock hands, okay? And keep note of the positions that the pictures of the father and mother are tilted, okay? Pictures of mom, dad, and I. The eyes have been rubbed off. Yeah. So, just remember now, this is tilted. So, if this was like this photo, it's tilted counterclockwise. Okay, so the hair is facing left, and this picture of Ray's mom is upside down. So, keep note of the positions. It is very important. So we'll have to look at this again. So just quickly turn off the light and have a look. And Ray's eyes sort of start bleeding. Okay, and you'll see this looks like time, right? So this looks like 9:30, and this looks like 7:30. Okay, so very important to remember how this is. Oh, sorry, this is 3:30, not 9:30. What am I saying? So yeah, 3:30. Keep note of these positions and the position that these are tilted in, because it's very important to remember this. And pick up this cup, a glass juice cup. It glows with a dull melancholy. Fucking hell. Filled glass cup. Filled with sadness has a dim glow. Pretty much describes this whole game. Alright, so go through this. Okay, yeah, the door's locked, never mind. A strange quote on the door. Meet the right person at the right time. That gives you a clue as to how to solve this puzzle right here. So we're going to go back through this room now and change the channel. But watch what happens. Yeah. So what I gathered from that is Ray's father was a drunk, and when he would go into drunken rage, he would just start breaking shit. It's pretty messed up. Okay, nothing else we can do, so let's go ahead and change the channel. Music is so good, my dude. Love it. Ceramic piggy bank. Broken up for one's desires. Again, this will make sense why this is like this a bit later on. Another brilliant soundtrack. Oh my goodness, I love the music in this game. Alright, cool. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 doors. Right? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 5 doors. Okay. And if you notice here on the ground, there are very faint footsteps in here. Okay. And they disappear. So I wonder if they're going to reappear. Yeah, see there? There they go. So what we need to do now is follow the footsteps, but the only way we can see them is by pouring this cup of melancholy on the floor, on this pile of like, looks like salt, and watch the floor. See? Now we're gonna go to the end of the corridor here and turn off the light. And as you can see, we can now properly see the footsteps. Okay. Now, if you keep going into each of these doors, you'll go to nowhere. Okay, so you need to follow the footsteps through each of the doors. Otherwise, you just keep going through doors after door after door. Okay. So the first one is this one. And this one. Then this one. And this is the one all the way at the end. I love this music, Machana. And the first one again, or the middle one again. Yeah, we end up in this room with like a bunch of syringes hanging from the ceiling. Very strange. And there's a note over here. Ad for private investigator. Husband cheating, comes home late. We specialize in tracking people. This looks like an ad for a PI firm. So yeah, this will make sense in a minute. Before I go in there though, I want to go in here. So this here is the counselor's office. Okay. This is where Mr. Chang normally is. And if you remember, Mr. Chang is Ray's counselor. Or he's the school counselor, but particularly he's Ray's counselor, because we're only focusing on Ray for this story. And remember how I said that in the mirror, the reflection, the body looked different from Miss Yin's reflection, because it had the hood over its head and was wearing different clothing and had a very slightly different build. That was Mr. Chang in the reflection. So, again, remember that. The teacher's desk. On it are plenty of assignment papers. And nothing else in this room, I don't think. Yeah, but you can only walk in this room, which is a bit annoying. And there's nothing else to find in this place. So, we'll head into this room now. So, these are Ray's mum and dad. Okay. Let's have an examine of this. Also, you can only walk in this room. Back then, laying in bed, I could hear mum and dad chatting through the walls. They had such a bond back then. I don't know when the idle chatter turned into deafening silence. I love that description as well. It's so good. Deafening silence. Later, Dad only came home when he got roaring drunk. Mum always huddled in a corner trying to hide her tears. Yeah. It's really, really getting depressing now. But it's only going to get more depressing from this point on, so yeah. Okay, here we go. So this is another one of my favorite puzzles in the game. Okay, let's have an examine of this. So if you remember, we saw these hands on pictures of Ray's mom and dad, and this one is the middle, which had Ray's photo, and you can see there's no hands on this one. We can move these hands here as well for both of them. Okay. There's a light switch over here. Oh, okay, you can't interact with it. Never mind. Okay, so let me just explain this quickly. So firstly, I'm gonna set the things into the position they were in, how we saw. So Ray's father's picture was, so this, say now this is the head. 12 was in the 9 o'clock position. Okay. Meaning that, how do I explain this? So Ray's father's picture was tilted counterclockwise. So let's say his head was at the 12 o'clock position right here, meaning it would be down this way. So it looks like that. Okay, this is how it looked, and we're imagining that this 12 is over here. Okay, and Ray's mother's picture was upside down, so imagine if 12 was down here, and it was in 7:30, like that. As you can see, that doesn't work, because these clocks are not upside down or tilted in any which way. Okay, they're upright. So now we need to imagine that the pictures that we saw of Ray's mom and dad were in this position, where the 9 is at 12, so where Ray's father's head was is now up here, and where Ray's mother's head was is now up here. Best way I can describe that. So this needs to be flipped, so this needs to be 1 o'clock position. Like that. And this goes that way, so this is in 7:15. There we go. I don't know why that didn't work, because they're supposed to like show up like full with blood. I didn't see it happen there, but as you can see, it's filling with blood now. Alright, there's nothing else to do in this. That's that puzzle done. So let's go back. And the room's changed now. Look at how ridiculous this looks. There's panties and bras everywhere, and lingerie on the bed. One day, Dad came home inebriated and tripped at the front door. I couldn't stand seeing him on the ground all the time, so I went over to give him a hand. Besides the stench of smoke, there was another smell. A faint smell of powdered makeup. So yeah, of course he was cheating, you know, with this PI firm thing that we got, and with the clothing scattered all over the floor, or sorry, all over the room, and you know, they must have gotten really freaky if there's panties and bras on the ceiling. Also, there's 2 pairs of underpants and 2 pairs of bras. So, sorry, well, there's two undies and 2 bras, so yeah. Make of that what you will. Okay, let's go out. But yeah, he was cheating, so that's one thing. Has anything changed in this room? No, not yet. Alright. So let's head back. Okay, so we now need to go back to the room where we found Ray's parents, the pictures. I think it was in this one. Yep. And then check this out. That's really cool. Alright, and this door has now become illuminated. And check out, it's like pink and blue. The room they were about to go in is the first time we've pretty much ever seen color appear. I mean, have a look at this. Look at it. It's beautiful. I love how this looks. Anyway, so we'll go to the left. And there's Mr. Chung. I received your paper plane. I was truly worried you were still having trouble at home. But it looks like my concern was slightly unfounded. Like the white daffodil, you are innocent, vain, and candid in nature. Perched beside a pond in Snow White, admiring your reflection. Being different from others can be a tough way to live. But I think I can understand that feeling. You said you want to learn about my time abroad. All I can say right now is that my past is rather complicated. Unfortunately, many horrible things have happened on this land in the last decade. Believe it or not, our society wasn't always like this, oppressive and cold. Perhaps we should take a stroll down the boulevard on the weekend. There are things our censored textbooks don't mention, but are definitely worth knowing. That, to me, is one of the creepiest things this dude has said in this entire game. And he fades away. Alright, before you leave, pick up this. Paper plane. Toss my worries out and receive your guidance. Okay, and if you remember, Ray was in the bathroom mirror when Ray was talking to herself. She was talking about the white deer, and she also saw a white daffodil on a windowsill, and she said, "A lone daffodil, it must have been very hard for you." Okay, keep that in mind. I'll explain it at the end of the game, or whenever it's most convenient for me to explain it, but probably at the end of the game. I gotta sort of slow down, I'm getting a bit excited. I just love this game. Love it to death. And I don't think there was anything else. Was there? No, so yeah, you can't go past this thing. What the hell? Okay, that was weird. Alright, let's go ahead and get back out. And then note should have appeared on the table. Yeah, there we go. Radio station. New radio stations channel launched. 103.0. Okay, so we're gonna go put that in the radio. And once again, the room will change. There we go. Again, another brilliant song. Anything to examine? No? Okay. So there's another pretty cool puzzle that we have right here. There are 6 mirrors, as you can see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and at the end will be a door. Now you can't go through this door, okay, because it doesn't open. Strange quote on the door. Follow that shadow in the dark, then you will be closer to the truth. So, we're going to go back to the beginning, and as you can see, there are reflections in these mirrors, okay? And there are light switches next to each of the mirrors. So, what we need to do now is flick the switch on each of these mirrors and follow the shadow that follows us, or that comes in it, okay? Or that appears in it, sorry. If the shadow is going the same way as you, leave the light off. If it's going opposite direction, turn it back on. So leave that one on. Nope. This one we can leave off. Hello? This one stays off. This one we leave on. And this one we turn off. There we go. Okay, this is Ray's father's study. Father's study is always neat and tidy. He always gave off an air of seriousness with a little bit of his own humor. Anything else to examine? No? Okay. Let's go through the door. Item received, a coin. Save it for my dream little by little. So, we need this. It's actually, it's not a collectible, it's an item that we need for a puzzle, okay? Anything else? Okay, let's go ahead and go through this door. This will take us to the movie theater, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. So this leads out here to the movie theater. The theater's ticket counter. And this door is locked. Door's shut tight, yep. So, we'll come back to this in a minute. So, that was a ticket counter. We need a ticket to get into that place. So, we are going to go to the first room. This is why I love this chapter so much with the level design. So back to the first one, interact with the piggy bank, and drop the coin in. Put coin in piggy bank. There we go. And now we are going to go to the second room where the piggy bank was shattered. And have a look what we get. There we go, movie ticket. Item received, movie ticket. A saying goes, actors are lunatic and the audience are fools. And we're now going to go back to the last radio station. And head back to the movie theater. And have a look how this room has changed. This looks like one hectic LSD trip. No joke. I mean, there's a brain over here in like a press, like a vice press. Chairs, signage, windows, a rickshaw. Or this isn't even a rickshaw, it's like a bicycle rickshaw thing. I don't know what it is, but yeah. But this is brilliant artwork. Even though it looks very weird, still it's brilliant artwork. I mean, there's a pig's head over there. Look at that shit. And there's some, like, I think this is dango. Or like the Taiwanese version of that. I don't know. I could be wrong about what I was saying as well, what this food is, but I think it's what it is. Whatever, I don't really give a shit. See this ticket counter. So, drag and drop the ticket. Good day and welcome. We hope you enjoy your movie. Thanks. Let's go ahead through the door. White jade deer pendant. Around my neck, I am sentimentally attached and dependent on it. So, from the looks of that, it's very obvious, especially with how he was talking to us earlier. Ray and Chang have a relationship. Okay? Which is, in every single way, wrong. But, yeah, you know. This all makes sense why they're like this at the end of the game, okay? And why it's showing us all of this stuff. I mean, it's part of the story, but it is pretty important. Okay, nothing else to do here, so let's go back. And I have no idea who that was, but yeah. So there's a thing on the floor here. And look at this room. This was the study. A note on the floor. Search warrant. A search warrant issued by the district court with a list of public officials involved in a bribery scheme. When I went home that day, father had already been taken away. I asked mom what had happened. She quietly replied, Dad got his hands dirty, but he'll live. Hearing this, I felt as if she was smiling underneath. She was thinking, kry vir jou. And just look at the study. It's like it looks like a tornado went through it. Just ransacked the entire place. Okay, pick up this assignment book here. A reasonable excuse to enter the counseling office. A reasonable excuse, you say. So, we are going to go to this one. I believe it's this one. And we're going to head into the counseling office. And have a look at how this room's changed. Gigantic fish. Again, I love the art style and design of everything in this game. So good. And there's a figure over here. Teacher's desk on it are plenty of assignment papers. So, drag and drop these two look very similar. I wonder if they use the same, like, icon for this. Just, like, flipped it differently. Anyway, so drag and drop the assignment paper onto the desk. Miss Fang. The counseling process is near its end. I'm glad you're back on track. And hopefully won't be needing me anytime soon. If there isn't anything else, you should return to class now. I still have plenty of assignments to look at. Yeah, so something's appeared here. Counseling records. Let's have a look at those. It's over. No matter what's been written on here, there is only farewell. Very, very depressing. And as you can see, we're back to this room now. Don't interact with this. We don't need to do it anymore. I don't know what happens if you actually do fiddle with this thing. I'm not going to find out though, because I don't want to go through all that shit again. But yeah. Another brilliant piece of music over here. Okay, so there are going to be 3 instances in which we find this glitchy version of Ray. And if you look down here, we have 3 items. A paper plane, a white jade deer pendant, and counseling records. Bloody hell. Okay, so we need these 3, and with each one we're going to drop on each Ray. So I'm going to start with the counseling records. Oh, okay, okay. So it's paper plane, deer pendant. So in the order that we have in. Okay, I don't know. For some reason I thought we could give each of them whatever. So it looks like we can't. So a glass cup of nauseating color, overflowing with the stench of human corruption. Plates and cups clash against the walls as father's voice roared through the halls. After a series of curses seething, all that's left is mother's weeping. Our family was once sweet together, healthy and caring when we gathered. And now, every night a restless sleep, every morning hard to wake. So it goes on day by day, the anguish digs ever deep. Brilliant poetry. I was shattered into countless pieces, mirroring the crumbling of a familiar world. In a state of ceaseless decay, plunging into a river of despair, floating in limbo for the rest of our days. Okay, this one we use the deer pendant. Anticipating when we meet, footsteps ever quick and slight, roaming through a neon forest, strolling past the dazzling lights. So this is them taking strolls down the boulevard and through the city streets at night. Very good wording. I mean the poetry. I become a little lark, brushing past the pretty flowers, chasing all the playful butterflies, I glide merrily by your side. I've been an actor in our play, long before the curtain's risen. Being held is ever comforting, longing for your love embracing. Listening to your many whispers, feeling each other's tranquil breathing. The white deer walked into my grasp. What a pleasant surprise, what a turn of fate. I want to keep this moment in my palms for eternity. I have goosebumps everywhere. So, now I can talk about this. This is Ray saying this poetry, okay? The white deer walked into my grasp. The white deer, if you haven't guessed by now, is Mr. Chung, and the white daffodil is Ray, okay? You know, it's all like poetry. It's so poetic, all that's happening right now, because I can't explain what happened, so you just need to feel it. Okay. And the counseling records. All of a sudden, we stopped meeting. You became distant bitterly, colder than the sun could melt, air around you freezing instantly, and my frozen body's beating heart with each pulse tearing itself apart. Again, I'm left in abject solitude, in a house that I call home, in a space that I call school, a walking corpse whose mind's without, a sense of loss that's drowned with doubt. And have a look at what we're going to see here. So let me just give some context. As you can see, this here, this conversation they're about to eavesdrop on is between Yin and Chung, okay? and Ray is overhearing this. Very important that you keep in mind that Ray is hearing this conversation. Chang Ming Hui, we need to talk about this. Miss Yin, it's not necessary to raise your voice like that. Why can't I? What were you thinking going after a child like that? Child? I was already studying abroad at her age. She's old enough to know what she wants. So what now? We lead her down this forbidden path. She only needs a push in the right direction, not for you to wrap your arms around her. This is our private matter. It's none of your business. How is it not? You're stuck in your little romance. Did you forget about us? So, judging from this, I'm pretty sure that Chang and Yin had a thing going on for a while. We were already in the same boat, don't you forget. And I'm pretty sure, what she's saying here, she was also a student when they got together or something. I don't know. This is what I get from this, which again is pretty freaky. It's pretty unsettling. That's Wei, by the way. And there's Chang. A painful recollection. My soul is shattered into pieces. When I cannot put myself back together and forget everything, I open my eyes and welcome a barren world. So we're back in the school now. Back in the auditorium. And there's someone on the stage over there. We'll figure out who this guy is later on in chapter 4. Which is this chapter, by the way. Alright guys, so that's the end of chapter 3. So far, well, not so far, but out of all the chapters, it's my favorite. Has to be. Such good music, such brilliant design, very, very good storytelling, everything. I love it. Love it so much. But, that's that for chapter 3. I'll leave it here, and we'll pick up next time when we go through chapter 4. So thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm out.